you dropped off your armor to have the enchantments transferred, and you were cooking up another Filge body. Celeste has gone back to Mage Point. And I think the biggest thing was Corzale restoring the guy back to normal.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, I guess so. Okay, we'll start with that really quick. With Corzale's whole thing. So, yeah, you're crying, he's crying, you're hugging.
I'm not sure if she's hugging him, but she's crying.
He's there are tears of joy, of like relief, of a nightmare finally over. You know, he probably didn't have the ability to really think about, realize the fact that he was all messed up, but he remembers what happened right before, and then all of a sudden now he can think again, he can speak again. He's still missing some hair, like where it bored into his skull, but hey, he's got his eye back.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's just looking at you like he's thanking you. And he says, "How?" Then he asks you, "Well, how long have I been in here?"
How long has it been? Has it been?
You ran into the party.
Maybe a month.
Yeah, at least a month, maybe more.
I think it's a little more. I think it's more than a month.
Yeah, we haven't contracted days. Safe estimate, let's say 2 months. At least 2 months.
Okay.
Well, actually, for I don't think we ever mentioned this, or if we did mention it, it's been such a long time. What was the last thing that you remember, before you were separated from the other dwarves? What was the what caused that separation? What were those events?
They're basically attacked by undead in the battle.
Separated in the battle.
Oh, what kind of undead?
I can't remember if we agreed if they were Caius undead or just a different type of undead.
It can either or.
I think it was Caius undead, as I recall, but
okay.
Yeah.
So was there like a cave-in or something, or like?
No, they were out in the field. Like they were sent out to investigate the undead on the surface, right? And basically, and they were sent out to investigate it, and then basically they found the undead and separated during the kerfuffle. They didn't really expect them, because they basically fought them like in a swamp, right? Not necessarily a swamp, but like marsh area, and basically, yeah, just the dwarves weren't really
like the dead marshes from one of those Lord of the Rings movies. So you were like basically overran, and then you had to you got separated and you just kind of fled from the scene, or?
She didn't necessarily flee. It was just that had been dispersed, and she couldn't find her friends, right? And she was just trying to find them. Some had already fallen in the battle, so like those ones she already found, but yeah.
So he says that when he couldn't find you, he said that he explains that they had fallen in the battle, but they got back up, and he had to kill them again, but then they kept getting back up. So he had to retreat, and he went underground, and there's this huge worm. It was green, bigger than anything I've ever seen. Mouth just bristling with teeth.
Does this sound like the Caius worm that she found in the arena?
Not that. That was something different. But
okay.
you like it didn't create any undead. It didn't have a face. It was just a mouth of the head was just a mouth, and it was just full of teeth. And it didn't have any little hair tendril things. The way it describes it, it looks like one of those costumes that you've seen, just bigger than the thing you found in the arena. Much bigger, based on what he's telling me. And he said it tunneled through the ground, and he almost got crushed in a rock. But then that's when he got found by more of the undead, like they were following it. And then one of the worms got on him, and he could like feel it crawling through him, and he managed to keep it together long enough, staggered into Dovin, and then found the Dwarven temple. But then like there was basically he doesn't remember actually getting to the temple.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember actually being in this room at all.
She kind of just like, she just kind of says like that's probably for the best, right? Like just looks at him. Yeah, she almost looks like she's a little not guilty, but just like she feels bad that she couldn't help him sooner. And that like he was like he basically had to go through that alone, and basically she wasn't there for him basically, and that's why she was there in the first place. She was there to protect them.
There's no like malice in his voice. Like he doesn't.
No, she knows that, but yeah.
Like, well, I'm just saying, like he's not. He doesn't seem. From what you can tell, he doesn't seem to blame you.
I didn't think that was the case.
Ian, he's so then that's all I remember, and then I'm here. What's happened?
Pictures around the city and around this area. It seems that the threat is much larger than we imagined.
And there's a dwarven curse in his breath. Have you been able to do anything to slow it, to defeat them?
Her eyes are still a bit red. She's still a bit moisture in her on her cheeks, and she kind of just says, "We've fought them, the cultists, the worms themselves. I've helped or hindered them in any way, really."
But we have that fragment, though.
So
she's just being a little bit down on herself. She just doesn't really she thinks this is kind of a bigger threat than her. She doesn't really understand if this point meant anything.
Well, you said it's bigger than we thought. What do you mean?
Yeah. This is out of character. Caius, what kind of Caius the god? Yeah.
As far as you know, yes.
Yeah.
Or at least from the little fragmented bits of stuff you've uncovered, he is a god or a being of alleged godlike power.
Okay.
He made the worms. Like these aren't. They're not like a naturally occurring thing that he modified. It was like he somehow just made them. And I mean, as far as like, okay, why would he do it? Well, like they put them in someone, they turn them into a zombie, they make more worms, and it kind of propagates it. But you never really figured out why he would do something like that.
Yeah.
They don't seem to serve him directly. They just seem to kind of like walk around, look for people, infect them, and then like almost just like you've seen people like individual like cultists and such that seem to work for him, want to do this, but there doesn't seem to be any kind of underlying scheme or plan to what's going on. It's just like, oh, we got these Caius worms. We'll make Caius worms. Oh, we make Caius worms. Oh,
I mean, yeah. Even to Corzel, she knows that the deities are. They're not really to be understood, right? Like their logic isn't the same as mortal logic. Like they don't necessarily have to have a purpose to serve a purpose.
Well, as a cleric, you know that gods, they kind of need worshippers. If they don't have worshippers, they can be forgotten, and they
lose their powers. Yeah.
Yes. So if the undead don't worship Caius, why would he make a thing that makes all these zombie things?
But we know that there are cultists, though, still living cultists. Yeah.
Yes, and they seem to worship him.
Yeah.
Or not? They don't really worship him. Like that's the thing, actually. You're thinking about it now, and you realize you've never really seen any shrines. You never seen any there isn't any like religious scripture of like oh, on these days you should do this, and these are like you never seen like any prayers to him.
No, but they definitely refer to themselves as disciples or acolytes of Christ.
All these
right?
these titles, but you actually, Cortazil, talking to this guy, thinking about it, you've never actually seen any kind of like religious scripture or any kind of sacred thing that's actually for Caius.
Yeah. I mean, to her, she just chalks it up as being their clerics aren't as faithful, right? Like
that's just so that's something that like Cortazil can chew on that. But he asks you. You said it's bigger than we knew or what we thought. What do you mean?
When we left the coven, we thought it was just an outbreak, just a minor
small cult.
pestilence. Yeah, a small cult. And it seems that his influence, has spread farther than we thought, and much quicker than we thought possible.
Well, okay. So what do we do? Do you have any leads? Any idea where to go from here?
We have one lead, I think. I can't remember what it is now. My brain, I'm so tired right now.
If anyone else
the Wind Lord told us something. I just can't remember what it is now.
About the rod fragments?
That's what it was? The rock? Okay.
And we were going to be shown where the other ones were, but it was already a whole farce. I don't know if she actually told us.
No, that was Hamal's half sister pretending to be.
Yeah, I know, but I guess when she went to build his body, she didn't tell us still, did she?
No. That was just Hamal's half sister lying to you guys. I can totally do this. This guy, give it to me, guys. Come on.
Listen.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So what are the fragments in relations to again?
If Jacob, you're in the relation to, you can chime in.
Relation to what?
What the rod fragments were in relation to with this whole thing.
They were used as a weapon against Caius during the war, the Great War, or not against Caius, but against the demons during the Great War, however many years ago.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I guess that would be assembling this rod could be used to maybe kill Caius.
The rod she has?
When fully assembled.
Right. That's what it is. It wasn't fully assembled. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. I knew there was something with the rod and like more of it. I was like, but is there just another rod? No, it's just the rod's not fully assembled. That's okay. Yeah, I think she holds up the rod, right? Like I think he knows that she used it to heal him. In what capacity? Up to him to kind of guess, but she kind of holds it up and just says, this can be used to fight him if we gather the other pieces.
He says, well, if it healed me, maybe that's its purpose, is to cleanse the world of Caius's blight.
I think so.
Then we just have to find Caius.
Yeah, but we should probably find all the fraud friends. It's probably more powerful with all the friends.
You're not understanding yet.
I know I'm not.
No. You would wish to face his ilk again? The worms?
Of course. We owe it to our brethren who now are cursed to walk the land.
I think it best that you return to the coven. At least for now. Tell them what has transpired. Tell them that this is bigger than we thought.
Spread the word.
I have some new friends here. I need to help them, and they need to help me.
He kind of he'll nod and so okay. If that's a you think that's best. You've dealt with this much more than I have. I'll return home. Let them know what happened. Is there anything specific you want me to convey to them? Anything?
Reinforcements.
Just tell them this is truly Kai's influence, and that he might have returned to this world in full, and to prepare for the worst.
Very well. I will head there. I'll make immediately. Don't die, and
I think she clasps his shoulder and kind of just nods affirmatively, don't she doesn't say don't die back to him, but she nods same to you kind of thing.
they're not gonna get me again.
I hope not.
And so I guess when you unlock the door,
yeah, she quietly kind of takes her cloak out of the little window and just looks around a bit, and then unlocks, opens the door, locks it, looks around.
You don't see anyone.
Okay. And then she just kind of quickly tells him that we're in a temple to Bel Amaranth in the city of Dovan.
He's like, oh wow, Dovan, that's it's been a while since I've been here. Well, the clergy here will help me. I'll get my bearings. Provide food and supplies.
The city may have been forfeit already. I think it best that you simply make your way back on your own.
Well, I'll still need food and light,
of course,
and whatnot. But
I think she'll give him 10 gold.
His eyes widen to that. Wow. What's happened those 2 months of taking? Well, make sure you make it back alive so I can repay this debt. And then he'll, clasp your hand on your shoulder again, and then he'll start making his way out. Is there anything else Cordel's going to do while you're here?
In the temple itself?
Yeah.
The temple had some lower reaches, right?
Yeah, that's kind of where you are. You know that there is a sacrarium where they keep various things like divine relics and whatnot, but there's also kind of a well warded and heavily sealed vault where they keep also evil relics. That they're either afraid to destroy because it could release something bad, or they can't destroy.
Okay.
But mostly, most people come down here to get like supplies, and there's also like some kind of Bell Amaranth. There's some deeper shrines.
Yeah.
For people that want to get a little closer when they pray.
I think that's what it is, right? I think that she does try. She goes to one of the shrines underground, and she offers a short prayer, which a short means like 20 minutes, right? Not like 2 hours.
For like you're just gonna like if you're
Safe
like
return. Or are you just praying?
Just praying to her God, right? Just like she's a cleric. She does that.
Are you praying for anything in particular?
She knows better than to ask for guidance. When she was younger, she'd always guidance, give me guidance. Bell Amaranth, give me guidance, and he never really did. She was always kind of a bit of not an outcast, but just kind of people didn't really like her, and Bell Amaranth never really told her what to do in to help her situation. So she eventually just learned to simply just ask that he would keep her, just help her in any way he can, right? It doesn't matter, doesn't matter how. She's a cleric. She's his cleric. If he intends for her to be his tool, he'll help her.
Alrighty. So you're doing that. Let's cut to Sumia.
I already got my rumors. And
you got another rumor
oh,
that at night. Let's say this is, I guess, near the end of day one that you guys are here. People have said there's been this kind of huge black dog stalking the streets and killing people. Mostly elves. Actually, only elves.
what color was the dragon that we met?
It was black.
That's what I thought. I guess I will relay this.
Every morning, people come out and there's like they can't tell by the ears because the ears are definitely chewed off and they're gone. But what's left of the clothing and maybe some jewelry or well, they can identify the face or just elven family saying, "Oh, husband, daughter, son didn't come home," sort of thing, and that's about what the corpse is. That happens every night.
Well, I let Humal and Torzeo know about this when I get a chance, and everybody else.
For how long has this been happening?
For
I guess 2 nights, maybe.
About a week.
Wait, how long were we gone? From in the cairn, and whatnot, the wind place. How long were we there?
From what you recall, based on when you got really tired and had to sleep, and how many times you had to eat, you'd say a couple days. That's from your perspective.
All right, I see what you mean. Well, I let people know that was Elagos or Alliston's day. Say about this.
Alliston, this says, he's just kind of, he's not like people got killed all the time there. He's just kind of it's probably just a sensationalist murderer who's just killing people. Maybe he hates elves.
I think it might be the dragon. Can a dragon change form?
Some of them can.
Can black ones change form?
Maybe.
I think it depends on the individual dragon. It's not necessarily the color of their skins.
Right.
Yeah, don't be colorist. Elagos, actually, he isn't there. He
Went with what's her name?
no, he went to check on his house because he has a house here,
Oh,
and
right.
he probably needs to make sure no one's in there squatting, none of them robbing it, and also interview new butler since his was murdered.
I don't know. I might see if somebody or Humal or whatnot wants to investigate during the night. See what's going on.
Okay.
I don't know if Humal has to be at his lab the whole time or what.
I mean, I can have Elagos watch it.
Okay. So. So while you're out still doing rumor gathering stuff, let's cut over to Hamal.
Okay.
Hamal, what are you doing?
I mean, and this is in terms of timing. I mean, generally he's if he's not taking care of the business he has to take care of at the Wizards Guild, he's taking, or he's not out investigating. He's growing Filge's and new doppelganger's bodies.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to any kind of breaks he can and research on necromentals.
Okay. So Elagos is. So okay, we're gonna do this when Elagos, like when he leaves to go, check on his house, and also because he prefers to stay at his house.
Is Elagos human?
From what you can tell, yes.
Okay. I just didn't know if he had the elf ears or what.
Yeah. Okay. So, while he's away at his house, doing house things, and Olliston is in a different part of the doppelganger, maybe he's resting, or maybe he's looking through some of the Thulid's notes. And you're monitoring Filge's body, adjusting temperature, adding new stuff, stirring it around. You don't want to let it cook too long in one spot, otherwise it kind of sticks to the edges, and then you gotta boil it out and scrape it off with a spatula, and it's just gross.
Oh yeah, no, it's always a fun time.
You think that like dwarves would invent some kind of non-stick tube? But you're doing all that, and then you hear a voice whisper. Hello again, Humal.
Oh my god, the bug devil.
Well, I'm surprised that you were able to follow me, but I'm also not that surprised. He just kind of hisses back in Infernal.
Just coming to check in and see if you'd considered my offer.
Well, I don't have the piece, so.
On you.
I know. The dwarf has it. But she's probably would prove difficult.
Well, given she's a cleric, I would only imagine.
I'm not there anymore.
Sorry, guys. Give me like 5 minutes. I gotta go help my wife carry something in real quick.
No worries.
Okay.
Be right back.
I know, it was pretty good, wasn't it? Forgot that he's gonna show up again. Where was it?
Corzel did want to go talk to the other clerics still.
Okay. Well, okay. So you're talking to the clerics. What are you talking about then? We'll work on that while he's gone.
No, the other the other faiths of the city. I mentioned that at the end of the last session.
Oh yeah. So actually, when you go to you do your whole prayer thing to Beller Amaranth, the ground where you are starts to shake a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
At, like
tremor.
After, at the end of her prayer.
You sit down and as you start to pray, that's when it starts happening. And you probably wouldn't have noticed this walking around. Like this, the fact that you're deeper underground, it's very quiet, and you're getting ready to pray. That's the only reason you can feel it. And the floor.
I mean, she's a dwarf as well, but
yeah, but I mean, like even if you're walking on the streets, all the other noise and stuff around, you wouldn't notice it.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay.
The floor, you can see like it starts to crack a little bit, and it cracks, like perfect angles and lines, and it makes that same kind of blocky cactus-looking thing that you saw in the guy's room.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of seals back up. And the floor looks
I think she stands up to look at it, and then as it's like sealing up, she tries to put her hand on it, not in it. She doesn't want her hand to get chopped off in the crevice.
No, they're really thin. Like you can run your fingers on it and feel it, but you can't stick a finger.
Yeah, that's kind of running her hand. Or can she feel a divine presence, magic? What is this to her?
You don't feel worried, so you're pretty sure this has got to be the most blatant sign that Bellarmith has ever sent you. This is not some kind of coincidence. This is not some kind of random event. And then the ground starts to shake again, and it forms what looks like kind of a. It's a very elaborate rendering, almost of a hammer.
Good old hammers.
It looks like the one that you're carrying, but it has there's kind of a embossed like a face on the front of it. So it's different than the one you have. It looks pretty similar, and then the ground seals up again.
Okay. What did the face look like? If she had to guess, I guess.
It looks like the whatever the most that you would use if I was to say hey Kelly, you need to draw what Bellarmith looks like. It looks like
It's what a depiction of Bellarmith would be. Okay.
Well, what most artists believe he looks like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
This is not any kind of hammer that you've seen. You haven't seen anything like this depicted in any kind of art concerning Bellarmith, though. This is.
I get you. It's not like a known artifact or something.
But you've never actually seen anything like this before, so you're not really sure what is this. What is this? Are you supposed to make this? What's going on with this?
Yeah, I mean, she's got a couple thousand questions going through her mind right now.
Should we cut back to home?
Okay, so now you're going to go question other clerics, so we're going to cut back to Hamal really quick.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, he says, blah, 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 blah. Well, the dwarf has it, so she was, and she's in her she's at her temple right now. That would pose difficult, even for me.
Well, that is to be expected. For what purpose would you need that rod?
Your father wants it.
Okay, sure. And I'm guessing nobody but him has any idea why he wants it, right?
I have an idea, but that's not why I'm here.
I mean, if you want me to entertain your intentions properly, I mean, what theories you got?
I believe you want a sphere of annihilation. I know where one is.
Certainly. I mean, it's very interesting to me, but to be fair, I'm not sure the sphere of annihilation will be as good against Caius as an assembled rod of 7 parts would be.
You need all 7 parts. The sphere couldn't hurt. I can take you there. I can take you to it and bring you back.
And in return, you want me to get you that piece of the rod.
Obviously.
There a time limit attached to this deal?
Before the Age of Worms.
You see, now that would be something worth talking about. If you know that the Age of Worms is coming, where does the big fire down below fall on the whole coming battle royale?
Non-aggression.
Just let it be.
I mean, that's an awful lot of souls that are going to be lost to Caius, instead of being damned if you allow the entire world to be ended in worms. But
they'll come.
Then I suppose the question is then, why would you want the rod before the Age of Worms then? You can keep trying to throw me things here, but I want your idea. Why would my father want it?
Give me a diplomacy check. This is very good. This is not very good.
Oh, I can do that. I can do that all day. Where's my... There it is. I was like, where is my character sheet? There we go. Fat +6, so 23.
Jeez, okay. He said
Enchanter is worth specking into.
Your father fears the rod. Fully assembled. It could kill even him.
Oh, that's right, because it's supposed to kill demons and stuff.
But he fears Caius more.
Then why pick the rod from us?
So, 2 birds with 1 stone. Secure the thing that could kill him and have a potential weapon against Caius.
You're very close.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, if, for example, the Age of Worms comes and the rod is used against Caius, and then it were to be scattered and sent back into its places of hiding, what would be there to stop Father from going after it then?
Again, Paul, you're very close to figuring it out.
The forces of good, as they did in the past, will not likely want the rod to remain whole after the Age of Worms is ended.
Well, as always, you talk a lot. Relay your father's bargain.
Here's what: go back and tell father that if he wants the rod, he can get it.
He's shushing you.
Uh-huh.
As a token of goodwill, I will tell you precisely where Caius was born.
As a free, no strings attached goodwill.
Of course.
Can he do a bluff check on that one?
Insight. I mean, if he says the assumption I'm working with is that if he says out loud it's no strings attached, then
Right.
he's bound by it. He has to at least fulfill the letter, if not the intention. If he says it's free, no strings attached, I mean, it's free, no strings attached.
I'm just saying that it might be good to do.
Oh, I plan on doing it on the actual information itself.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So he says, to the east there's a city called Cauldron. Actually built it in the caldera of a volcano that they believed was dormant. It's erupted recently. To the south of it is a jungle. Inside is a ruined city built around a ziggurat. Go there, and you will learn much.
Well, I appreciate that. Any other information you want to give, like when the Age of Worms is expected? How much time we have left?
Soon. Not much.
On my time scale or yours?
Yours.
Oh, that's less than I was hoping for. Knowledge is power. If you can, for me, have Father send along a sending orb. If he wishes to send agents after it and he doesn't wish to lose more of them or more children, not that I'm sure he cares much, just have him speak to me directly if you could.
Well, okay. So before I say that, you know, Hamal, that your father, as like a demon lord prince, it's very hard for them to come to the mortal realm. Mm-hmm. Like there are various rules and boundaries in place to stop them from just kind of popping over whenever they want.
Right.
The lesser demons, they can be drawn here. They always bringing this guy up here. That probably took a lot of bloodshed and sacrifice and time. Mm-hmm. And for them to, like, you know, like your dad, yes, you know, your father, you know, he could do like some kind of sending thing, but him communicating would probably still require a very powerful focus or gate of some sort, just to talk through. And that's just because of that's just, you know, like conjurers, you know, it's when the world was made, you know, these are the kind of the gods put in place to stop angels and humans or demons from going back and forth willy-nilly and messing things up.
No, definitely.
You definitely don't want Daddy coming up here.
Well, no, of course. But the way Hamal's kind of looking at it is that if Mr. Bone Devil here keeps up his arrangement, basically, in effect, he's either going to go back with the rod or he's not. and he's probably going to be dispersed back there, and he's going to have to pay the cost of coming back up here. Or he could just pay the cost of talking to me. Whichever one, I mean, works, but it just seems like less cost to talk. And obviously, he doesn't want his dad coming up here physically. It's just a matter of he thinks he can reason better with his dad than he can with a servant. But, it's, yeah.
Okay, so you say that to him, like do a sending or thing, and he's just like, I will relay your message. After I have.
Sorry, it cut out after you have
A bit of fun here.
Can it not be in Doven, please?
Wait a minute. Is he
You say that, and there's a response. A minute passes. 2 minutes pass.
Mm-hmm.
You're almost waiting, like you're thinking, like, oh shit, is he talking about me? And you're just like, you can't see. You're looking around, you don't see him at all. You didn't see him at all when he was talking. You just heard his voice.
Right.
You're waiting, 5 minutes pass.
Gotcha.
And then all of a sudden, you're looking around, and then you feel some tap on your shoulder, and you turn around, and it's Elliston.
Hi, Ellison.
That Thule, these books on these volumes of transportation are fascinating. I mean, it's a little morbid what he, did, but this is really valuable knowledge.
Oh, of course. That's why we're making use of it, especially in what's coming to be the Age of Worms. For what it's worth, he seems to have found a method of immortality that may be less repugnant than undeath.
Really?
And he'll hold up shards like Filge. It said, yes, our friend Filge here. We'll be getting one of these nice new doppelganger bodies as soon as they're done.
Did you find any more of those shards down here?
Oh, I can't remember. Did we?
What was it? We got the shards down here, yeah.
But how many did you find?
Good question.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I can't remember exactly how many. We'll just say a few to a good amount.
Oh, I got it on here. I just gotta find it.
Is there any means of discerning what's on them?
Oh, it just says iron rods plus and crystals. So,
is there any means of discerning what's recorded on them besides putting them in a doppelganger body?
Any means of communicating with them?
Yeah, basically of trying to figure out what's on them without having to put them in a doppelganger body.
Telepathy.
Okay. No,
You could likely take them to the Wizard's Guild and see if they have a mind talker over there that might help you.
Oh yeah, it's super something to do. We'll wait for that to get done. Want me to grab anything while I'm over there?
Let's see. Did this happen? Is this all happening after or before we did all the bargaining with the coins and everything?
I will say after.
Okay. Let's see here. He kind of he thinks around and goes through his pockets. Yes. Pick up for me if you could. Actually, let me drop off this missive for them, and then pick up any books on warding that you can find.
Okay. Anything specific?
Demonic or devilish. Infernal.
Okay. I should be back soon.
He'll send he'll send the doppelganger with him as a kind of bodyguard, even though it's low level.
Well, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so he'll leave, and then this is about when Sunia will come back.
Okay. And I mentioned the dog, or did I already?
You can mention it now.
There's some black dog terrorizing elves at night.
Terrorizing meaning
Killing them.
because of
their ears and kind of leaving them in such bitten state, I would say. Right? Like there was some of the faces aren't recognizable. Or...
From what you've heard, you haven't seen that the corpses are. Most of them are so unrecognizable that they're just kind of
using clothes.
They're making like safe assumptions as to who they were based on missing people.
So
okay.
we are sure then that this is supernatural and not just somebody's hunting dog.
I don't know for sure. I was hoping that somebody would want to come and investigate it at least.
Well, they've been like, they're missing like entire limbs. Like they're not like, the shoot up like the whole arm is
okay.
Gone.
So it's about a bear-sized dog.
Right. Then.
No, how big? I mean, they've seen some teeth marks. They've seen some paw prints. It looks considerably big. I mean, it's at night, so like people, like someone might have said, "Oh, I saw like a silhouette of a dog thing, running down the street," but oh, it's huge. It's not that big. It's just a normal dog. Maybe it's rabid.
Right. Yeah, I'm more than willing to check it out. As soon as Austin gets back from the Wizards Guild, we can go dog hunting.
Okay.
Since we obviously need to leave Filge cooking and the other doppelgangers as much as possible.
Just turn them on a low heat.
Right.
A simmer.
Yeah, let them simmer for a bit. Okay, cutting over to Corzale. You're visiting other churches.
Mm-hmm. I just want to add, before she leaves, she's going to. She has like a prayer book, right? She's gonna copy the what would you call it? The cracks and the. What did the guy draw?
What was that?
What did he draw on the walls of the cell?
Oh, so one of them was like a skull with looks like they were supposed to be worms, like the little squiggle lines, but you're guessing it's worms. One of it was this that kind of blocky cactus-looking thing.
Cactus
the
thing.
Looked like
that's the thing she draws. The cactus thing. Yeah.
And that was on the cracked into the floor, reproduced from what you can tell like perfectly. Like it's the exact same design. Almost the same dimensions.
Okay.
There might have been a little bit off because mixed media. Trying to carve it into a wall with your finger and also some blood.
Yeah, she's just using some charcoal. She just tries to like, again.
Pretty simple.
She basically she just wants to show him all in case he might
have any information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she might get to join us on our Scooby-Doo mystery.
Zoinks.
She.
No?
I was just gonna say, otherwise she would the whoever the top cleric is here, right? Just kind of talk to him briefly and just say like they might not see each other for a while, but that she's gonna go talk to some of the other and try and basically just try to get you guys to working towards fighting Caius, basically, right? Opposing Caius.
Visiting. So okay, you're gonna visit each other church, and like okay, so you go to like the Sun Temple, the temple. What are you telling to the high priest there?
Do they let her in?
Yeah. They recognize the Bellarmine symbol. And they might have another cleric or some kind of Templar kind of look you over and kind of nod, like letting you through, like you're not. They don't sense any kind of evil presences or anything on you.
Bill's not looking the best, but
Yeah, you're not. But I mean, they're
though either. She makes sure she looks good whenever she can.
Presentable.
But yeah, after say about 15-20 minutes of wait time, you're admitted to see the high priest guy, the uppermost priest that functions in this city. He does have a pair of armed Templar, side, standing at his side, prepared to fight in case anything happens. But
yeah, she has. I mean, she has her weapon with her, but she's not like she hasn't made any motions to.
No, it's a precaution thing. I mean, he asked.
She's not offended or anything. But yeah, she just she basically exactly. She asks for an audience with whoever's in charge, basically.
Yeah, and you're brought into his office. It's well furnished. Gold, silver. There's urns and stained glass windows and all these religious paraphernalia scattered about. Tapestries. A little statue behind him of the glorious sun. And he did. He asked, what did you want to see him about?
She'll start a little bit cryptically and just say, "Have you noticed any changes within the city of late?"
Mostly this blasted plague.
She nods, like that's good. What do you make of it?
Obviously, it's unholy in origin. It resists being cleansed. It doesn't even. We can't even halt its spread. We've managed to slow it. We can't even contain it. I fear that the city is lost.
Mayhaps, though. Do you know of its origin?
I've been informed that it started at the arena. Not long after the last games occurred.
She nods.
What's his name? Rockney, and he left the city. We believe that he might have been the cause of it because
he was. She just kind of says outright.
How do you know this?
I was there.
There when he did when he's kind of like motion his hands when he continue. What did he do?
Yeah. Full of Caius. He has unleashed his pestilence upon this world.
Caius.
Are you familiar?
Yes. And frankly, I would laugh you out of this room if this was a couple weeks ago, but there have been worm-riddled zombies.
Does this look like the face of a woman who would tell you a joke? And she's kind of glares, dogs him.
I was gonna say, well, now it's funny.
No, but evil deception can come in many forms. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying before I would have left you out of this room, but with the orbital zombies shambling about the countryside, and even from within the arena, no, it's I. No, I believe the Caius has some kind of influence on this. So
He is the source, the origin.
Do you have any recommendations of what we should do?
A character. What is their god? Who is their god?
Oh, I'm just going to go with the default D&D Paylor. You know, it's generic.
Okay, Paylor. Paylor is generally speaking a very anti-pestilence sort of god.
He's super anti-undead too.
Yeah. He's like the poster child for anti-undead and healing and cleansing, and they're having a problem dealing with it.
Yeah, even they are.
What do we think is the cause of the disease, the plague?
We haven't been able to determine that.
Okay, because I was just did we leave something behind, or was it the ritual itself? I'm trying to remember.
Well, no. When you were in the arena, you killed that worm thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that was like the end of things. Like you didn't notice anything else. So,
I mean, there was the grand ritual and everything, but that's what I mean. She's thinking like, what else could it be, right? Like, Rockney was already gone. We thought.
Mm-hmm.
What was left behind that's causing this?
He wasn't at the games the last day. Well, you guys snuck out, and then he wasn't there from what people had said. But you don't actually know where he went. And then after you guys were kind of hiding out for a few days, that's when Simeon entered rumors that he wasn't at home. They thought maybe he was murdered. They thought he fled the city. They didn't know why. But even at that point, nothing was still going.
No plague.
We didn't hear anything about the arena being a problem. They just kind of closed it up because Rockney wasn't there, and like there were all the gladiators were gone. So there was like, well, shit, that was a whole day of nothing happening. They had to, they had all these animals to feed. Paying customers they had to deal with. There was like fighting and stuff in the city about that.
Yeah. I'm just trying to look at it from Corzel's perspective and whether or not she might have a guess to what it could be. I don't think she does though, because like to her, I think that there was nothing as far as they knew, right? Which doesn't mean there wasn't something, but yeah.
But okay, so you're trying to think, okay, what could have caused this? So you're thinking back, okay, well, in the actual arena, underneath it, you guys did find a warren full of ghouls. Yep. You did find you found heaps of dead bodies in that pool room.
Yes.
It was a pile of corpses, and then up the waste chute, there was that Cambion. He had a whole he had that scroll, the apostolic scroll that Hamal took. There was a little more undead stuff going on. There was that room that had the demon in there, that whole skull mosaic on the wall. Those are really the only things that give me a religion roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, where's my mouse? Oh, there's. What is my religion actually? Okay. Plus 24.
Okay, so you think that individually, if let's say Rockian wasn't there, or let's say he was there, or let's say some of the cast is filling, right? there's enough stuff there where if they wanted to do some kind of powerful, infernal ritual thing, that you guys didn't go through the whole thing. You didn't clean up the whole thing.
No, we didn't.
You found the evil scroll thing. You found the giant worm thing. You killed the Cambion guy that was like in charge of the whole ritual, growing this.
Bozal.
Yeah, Bozal. But you think that if all that stuff there, that's probably any one of those areas could be where the source is. But the other thing that you remember is that the whole arena, the whole underground passage was like a perfect circle. With hallways, and you remember Hamal saying this. There was little hallways that kind of branched out, and they served absolutely no purpose. They weren't storage passages. They weren't rooms.
They were empty.
But when viewed from above, all those halls could have made they looked like, from what Hamal had said, almost like a ritual circle, like the symbols of it.
Yeah, no, she definitely remembers the rituals. Right?
She definitely remembers the rituals. Right? But like the whole arena, if someone wanted to do some kind of powerful super ritual thing, I mean, that's a huge energy circle. That's a huge, most people that want to summon demons, they draw like a little 5-foot diameter thing on the ground. It fits in a room. This is a whole huge building, so it's possible, based on its staggering size. All these priests trying to do little cleansing rituals, they can't stop it. It's too much. It's too potent. It's like a huge nuclear reactor of death.
That's definitely where her brain was going, right? She was definitely thinking this, either that was the purpose of or it's been altered in some way, this disease, this plague.
But that's what Corzel can. That's what you're able to deduce based on what you remember from what you saw and what Hamal had said.
Yeah, she definitely wasn't thinking it was just like this isn't just a common spread of an undead disease, right? Like this wasn't caused by ghouls or zombies, right? Like this is something much big. This is something much stronger.
But that's from what you're talking to this guy. That's clearly what he thinks it is.
Yes.
Because
then I think she will say that there was a grand ritual. What would be a term for that? I think that's probably what she would just call it. Of a large ritual of the arena.
Or using the arena.
Mm-hmm.
The arena understructure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the underground of the arena, and I believe this is be the of the plague.
We cut out after the cause.
She says, I believe this to be the cause of the plague.
Well, I don't. Truth be told, I don't understand anything about. I don't understand much about ritual circles. How is it you know so much about them?
I saw it for myself.
And do you know how we might combat this?
Is it possible to make our way for anyone to make their way back into the arena?
Well, we tried, but anyone we send in there, despite divine protection, it seems to wither the closer that the people get, and then they start to fall ill, and then usually the brave souls that continued on, they fall before they even get to the most of them don't even make it to the elevator in the center, but those that do, they've never come out.
She nods and just says, destroy it if someone can destroy it, this pestilence, stop the spread. Me and my allies, when we left the arena, we were in dire straits. We needed to make haste, else I would have destroyed it myself. Though now I regret it.
Well, do you have for being down there? Was the elevator the only way in?
They're super.
We didn't take an elevator, right?
Huh?
Elevator, did we?
You mostly you did use the elevator. You did find some kind of other passages, but you don't remember. You guys never explored any side passages to see where they connected to.
Yeah.
Okay,
so we got down there through the elevator though. Okay, I thought we didn't. Okay, I thought we had another passage or something.
You guys had gotten in there by pretending to be okay. You weren't pretending you were gladiators, and you get good gladiators, but that was you kind of came that way. There were other ways to get in, like by going through the actual circular structure of the arena, but and again, people go down the two ways that are publicly known to access the understructure of the arena. They've tried, but the only people that really knew anything about the arena, they're they were probably inside the arena and they're now dead. Or in case of like Rocky, and he's just gone and no one knows where the hell he went.
We draw him a map.
A map would. I mean, a map would be well good, but we can't get in there. That's the problem.
Well,
if we try to get into it. That's where.
Well, and then this is out of character, but I think we could. We had that side passage that had that ladder that came up. I mean, that was in a building that was adjacent to the arena, wasn't it?
Wait, you guys were actually housed underneath it, like kind of off to the side, but what do you mean? You weren't in a building. You were underground.
Oh no, I mean where we found the giant zombies that were pretending to be.
That was still under the arena. That
was
still
it?
underneath
Okay.
it. Let me pull up a thing because.
While you're looking for that, he had like a mansion or something.
Yes,
it was a mansion.
He says, he has his mansion or his manor was it was really close to the arena.
It is close, okay, but it wasn't in the arena though, right? It was close, but not in the arena.
No, it was not in the arena. It was actually like there was like a street that ran by the arena, and then on the other side was his house. Or actually, It might have been so close to the arena that it wasn't across the street at all.
Then I think she'll say like, I'm out here gathering more information, and I'll likely come back with more. But if I were to hazard a guess, I would think that we might make our way this ritual circle through Rocknian's
home.
I imagine there is a passage.
There was that one door we couldn't get by because it was
there was a door, and it was obscenely trapped from what Sumi could tell. And you guys were like, let's not bother with this. Let's go back and deal with it. That was like we know there's a big bad monster over here. Let's not go through the super trap door. Let's go back and kill the monster.
I remember that.
That sounds like a real good perspective. Looking at the map, Rocknian's house was like literally 10 feet away from the arena, but it wasn't connected to it. But it was like right next to it. Like you could hop off the arena and land on his house. There's like a little alley behind it.
Right.
So, so are you gonna how the party for sale, or what's the plan?
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
actually,
once she's
the,
go ahead.
the high priest will tell you. He says if you can return with what you believe to be a reasonable plan, we will assist you in whatever way we can.
She'll like thank him and shake his hand, quite genuinely, because that's what she wanted. more than anything, she just wanted some other clerics to help her.
But he says but unless like it's unless it sounds really surefire, I don't think it can risk any more.
Yeah, she understands. Understandably, like I'll find whatever I can of the city, if nothing else.
Well, I for your success.
Yeah, she'll smile and just like she's clearly in a good mood now.
That's good. That's good that she's in a good mood now.
So, okay, assuming you're back, Allison will return after like about an hour and a half with the books and stuff that you sent him out for.
Oh yes, the message that he sent, basically that he kind of wrote down and sealed was basically, hey, there's probably a bone demon within the walls, invisibly doing bad things. Also, Age of Worms is coming, so stock up.
For Allison to read?
No, it was like he sealed it after he wrote it.
Who is the message for?
The headmaster, I guess, would be.
Oh, okay.
Basically, a person in charge who could make use of that information.
Brings back for warping thresholds, advanced energy on warding your contracts. A lot of it though is pretty much all of it is basically in advance, and it can take a while, and if you're not really precise, it doesn't work at all, or it backfires.
Right. No, of course.
So, and I guess Cordelia, you'll make it back probably about the same time Allison does.
Well, she's gonna go to the smith, the dwarven smith temple.
Okay. And what was her plan there again?
Well, talk to them as well, see if they have information, but also see if they have like a rune priest or a mage smith to try and transfer the hammer.
Oh, that's right. The lightning, not the lightning, the fire on the sword or the spear, the fire on the spear to your hammer.
Yep.
They can do that, but it, again, will also take a few days to pop it over.
They have someone there that's capable of doing that?
Yeah, if you went to the actual Forge God, they can do that, but even for them, it takes a bit. It'll take a while, and they're gonna have to go fetch some. They gotta go grab a transmuter and evoker from the Major Guild to kind of basically hold on to the pull energy out, hold it into place while it gets rehammered. Into the
so they don't have their own. They don't have their own non-arcane methods.
Because the spear is arcane in nature. They need that.
Sure.
So curious. So if she does this, does that mean she does not have her hammer?
Until it is done.
Same with my chain, my mail shirt?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we knew that.
Yeah. She has other weapons, not as strong, but
Oh, thank God.
For when you go on your Scooby-Doo
Yes.
in your mystery machine.
Yeah.
Your bright green wagon.
yeah, she'll.
Is that something that Cindy wants to do tonight then, or do you want to wait till you get your armor and weapon back, or what's the
I
plan?
just want to like snoop around tonight, and definitely I'm gonna have a hood because of my eyes and my ears.
Okay.
So if anybody else wants to join me, which I hope, because I don't think I could take it on by myself, if something bad happens.
Oh, of course. I mean, I assume Corzel's up for it too. Hey, let's go hunt a demon dog. Presumably. Demon dog.
Yes? No?
Is Corzel up for it? Are you guys gonna do it? You're gonna follow this little plot hook?
Well, what do they tell her? Like, what's like?
Oh yeah, I
She
just
gets-
thought.
She gets
Like,
back.
she's
She's probably back later than anyone.
I guess we'll let her know that we are going to go check on something that's skulking around at night, killing on elves, and it's black.
Wait, really quick, Corzel, did you leave your hammer there to be fixed? So that thing is going on. So your hammer is not available. Okay, so Sylvia, give Corzel your elevator pitch.
Well, I was just saying that I heard a rumor that something's going around and I don't know,
Myrtleizing elves.
Yes, murdering just elves for about a week now. They say it's big and black.
That's racist. Although elves are very delicious.
And I just would prefer checking into it because for some reason, in my mind, I feel like it might be a certain dragon. But if it's been going on for a week, then maybe not.
She'll inform Sumia like, I don't have my weapon with me. If you think it's the dragon, I think it's better we prepare first than skulking around at night.
I just want to look at it because I just want to make sure. I just want to get a feel for what's going on out here. Because I mean, this is my brethren. Come on.
Oh, Sumia has had a long, in-depth connection with her elven race. Like it is constantly coming up.
Sumia's not.
She's well versed.
Sumia's not an elf, is she?
Yeah, I am.
You are an elf?
Yeah, I'm elven.
I mean, come on! It's so deep that you knew she was an elf.
I thought she was human that lived with elves or something. No?
I can show you my character sheet.
Nah.
Sumia actually has to show Corzel her elf card. Hello, I'm an
my
elf.
elf license.
It's written on a piece of bark, and it just says elf in common.
Yep.
That's why I was able to figure out that Celeste was some kind of elfin royalty goddess.
She was an Eladrin, yeah.
Eldrin.
Okay. I always thought Sumia was human, like lived among elves or something. Okay. That's funny.
Just an elven recluse.
Not additional those horns you gotta have. You gotta have like a little name tag. You know, hello, I'm an elf.
Corzel lives with elves. Corzel lives with elves too, so it's not like she thinks less of them or something. So.
No, I know that.
No, I just thought it was funny that you're like, wait, Sumia's an elf? What?
I guess
it was just really funny because Melissa said, they're my brethren. I feel like connected to them. You're an elf? What?
That wasn't in character. That was just me. But yeah.
I think I chose Elven because I could. Forget what I actually chose. I thought you could get like another skill proficiency or something special. I forget what it was.
It's like perception and stealth.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted. The stealth stuff.
Anyways, so Corzel, are you in?
I mean, this stuff shouldn't be going on while there's a plague. This is ridiculous.
I think she'll just ask, like, what do you think it is, to both Hamal and Sumia.
Asked what Allison he thought, maybe not. It could be Hamal's bone devil buddy. Not really buddy, but you know what I mean.
No, he's been there a week, but we've been dealing with him for the last few days, presumably.
Yeah, why would a demon target only elves?
True. Well, then this is why it's so mysterious, and we need to go.
So delicious.
To go solve the mystery without fighting for now, just to snoop around.
I mean, I'm all for it. I just figure, look, if they're killing people, I mean, we kind of have a responsibility to at least look into it, given we're the most competent people in the city.
We're level 11. We could kill everyone in the city and take over.
When he says that, like, we're the most common people in the city, she'll say that I've tried to what's the word I'm trying to think of? Conscript. That's the word. The assistance of all of the other clerics in the city.
Oh, good. Well, I have informed the wizards of that the Age of Worms is coming, but whether they want to help is up to them. But I assume they probably will.
She like, when you say that, she's about to say, I presume they won't, and you say, I presume they will. She's like, oh, okay.
I mean, they can't do much with a burned out, dead world in terms of arcane research.
She just shrugs, like, good point. She's still not sure that means anything to a frickin' wizard, but whatever.
This is fair. And besides, let's go find this thing. Worst comes to worst, we fight it, and we have a new corpse that I get to attempt experimentations on. And he kind of like, he looks...
Unless it's a demon, she says, like, with a very, like, pointed look.
With this look?
Like she's giving you this look at least 3 times now, like, no demon fuckery with your necromantic magic.
No demon necromancy. Yeah.
She literally, did she like punch Hamal? I can't remember what happened. I know some shit went down. I can't, like, yeah.
Yeah, it was back
She's
in
made
the
a point of
lab.
it multiple times now. Like, stop trying to do necromantic shit to demons.
And that was why I was weirded out with the most recent time. Totally didn't actually have a problem with Hamal collecting Hamatu's bones.
Yes, but she just figured that was like a family thing.
Oh, that was a poor assumption. She's
Plus, she knows, like, you're not just a necromancer. She's figured, like, that might, like, you might be able to track something, or, you know,
that's
some other method. No, she really does not expect you to raise your brother into undeath.
Oh, it won't be his brother. It'll just be basically an undead necro golem with demon bones.
Well, I'll just make sure she doesn't find out.
Oh, she won't. It'll be heavily illusioned. No, especially if it's not a demon, as he kind of like uneasily shrugs his backpack on with all the demon bones inside it.
I'm just saying, she's making a point of, like, you're not using this. What if this thing we're going to track down is a demon? You're not using it for parts. That's what she's trying to point out.
No, that's fine. I mean, I've got more parts than I know what to do with anyways. We've got the harpy bones. I need to figure out how to make a necromental out of that ice wolf, which will be awesome. That'll be a stride forward in necromantic research.
Your hobbies are...
Where will you publish it, Hamal?
There's libraries that would take that information. You could do it under a pseudonym and just give it to the Wizards Guild and say, hey, put this in your do not ever go into section, and then, you know, eventually there will be those. Yeah, eventually someone will find it. There will be those who don't care for the rules, and then...
most mages.
Yeah.
Like you know, the house wizard. I imagine that section says "Do not enter," and then in parenthesis it says "Because it's friggin' awesome in here."
Yeah. Do not enter unless you're ready to see the coolest shit ever.
Unless you're ready to party.
So,
But
you guys,
that like she intends to stop the plague before we leave the city.
but you guys gonna
Yep.
go dog hunting? Okay, so what is your plan for catching this dog?
We're not catching it. I just want to see it.
Okay,
I want
so
to see what it is.
so what is your procedure for trying to catch this dog in the act? What are you gonna do?
I could conjure the image of an elf and just have it go walking down the roads going, "Oh boy, I'm all alone and hope nobody attacks me."
Where elves live,
Like the Elven District.
the poor district.
Why is it poor?
'Cause they're elves.
Alienage.
Oh, we're so.
There's always a poor district.
It's usually the elves.
Well,
You know what I mean?
it's not.
In
It's
bigger
not really
cities,
sort of
yeah.
poor district. The city doesn't have a lot of elves. It's it's not necessarily the poor district. It's kind of like the poor / average common district.
Wealthy
They
district.
try to
Yeah.
kind of hippie tree cult thing, like a druid thing, but no one is really into it. They're like, I'm just gonna be a cleric. I can use metal things. A lot of them, they deal in drugs. They're really good with they know how to grow mushrooms and other plants and stuff. So
Yeah, no stereotypical here, huh?
no, I'm kind of thinking like, what would elves do in a city? Like they would really know how to tend to various plant things. They'd be good at that. It's not
It'd have to be
illegal.
fit-
This is fantasy medieval Europe. It's all legal. So, illusion elf. You're not gonna have Sumia just traipse around going tee hee hee. I'm all alone.
I mean, if this thing is as savage as we expect it to be, probably not.
Okay, so
I mean, it's not like 2/3 of us can't fly anyways, so we could just fly above the roofs watching.
You guys can all fly because Sumia has the flying sword.
Shield? Why not, right?
Say that question again?
Does anyone have a shield?
Oh, no. You could just go buy one.
I was gonna say, might just buy one.
Okay, you can just buy one.
Okay. I think before we go hunting, then she'll go buy a shield.
You gain shield. So you're gonna go up in sunfall, sunsets. So let's So it's like about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. Are you guys all on the rooftop or what? What is your flying over the street or?
Because we all have flying
Yeah.
abilities.
What is your?
I'm gonna touch them all with my teleportation or telepathy. Thank you. And
How much is the gold worth again for silver?
10
10 silver.
It's 10, right? Okay. Thank you.
I don't know. I guess we could fly. That might be.
I mean, just
I mean, I'm
that
gonna be.
less chance of getting ambushed if we're not in dark alleys behind the illusion of the elf.
Until she needs to, Corzel's not flying anywhere.
I'm gonna sneak. I'm gonna be in the dark sneaking because I have dark vision too.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So are you gonna?
I
try
could
to
just
go
make
to
us.
the spot
I
where
could just make us
Yeah, you
invisible.
You can do it. But he actually has this ability.
Oh, that's right.
Now, granted, it's like a minute. There's like 10 minutes per cast, and it's like 1d6 fatigue per. But we could do it.
Actually, invisibility would lead to another talent that would basically be the mass invisibility spell. So you just, whatever that one does in 3rd edition, I guess. So you can make everyone invisible with one spell, one ongoing thing.
Right.
So you're all on the ground, and Corzel, are you just kind of just? Are you guys just like waiting like by an alley in an alley behind some shit, like waiting like with a little illusionary elf going back and forth doing her little.
I think it's a woman, huh?
Well, yeah.
Just, I guess maybe she's waiting, looking like she's waiting for somebody, and kind of seeming all antsy, but kind of like a little bit of pacing, maybe leaning against the wall, all pacing.
I imagine her kind of pacing a little circle, then leaning against the wall, like going, "Oh, I sure hope."
I sure hope they get here soon.
Dog.
Really?
Yeah. While we're staking it out, Homel's going to lean over to Corzel and say, "Hey, that bone devil totally followed us. It really wants the rod, so be really careful with it."
Look like no shit, right?
I could just see her looking over the race.
It's a really mean look, yeah.
Maybe he purposely did it now so that she wouldn't beat the shit out of him.
Oh, thanks for telling me now. We're out at night alone in an alley.
Well, there's that, and the fact that it's willing to bargain for it. And that's an issue.
Again, she gives this look like, do you really think I'm going to fucking give it to him regardless of the bargain?
Yeah, I could see her looking confused first and then kind of appalled by the statement.
Exactly. I think she would know by now that she's not going to bargain with a demon, right?
This is their gritted teeth. Hamal, my hammer is in the fucking shop. My holy hammer.
Okay,
she has her own abilities.
Okay, maybe then you're just not understanding the full implications of the situation, or you're just that confident. I'm just trying to warn you because last thing I need is to have my father direct his attention to us personally.
It'd be really great if Corzel grabbed Maul's, twisted it behind him, doing this all as quietly as possible, and twisting the whole thing, making him feel pain, knock it off, now's not the time.
Full exchange. So
I'm watching. Okay, so don't even.
Sumia, give me a stealth check.
Okay.
The pink die.
You got an 8.
I'm gonna reroll it.
Oh, come on.
I'm not like you. I don't. Falls off.
I got 22.
Well, I didn't get that.
No,
okay.
You did not.
So, Hamal and Crystal, you guys are
grumbling.
And then Suma, you're just and the elf is looking away from the alley. Is the elf looking in the alley or away from the alley? This is important.
You mean his illusion?
The illusion. Is the illusion elf looking away from the...
Yeah, it's kind of walking around. It's basically loitering in the area.
Looking in the alley, you guys are hiding, or is she looking away from the alley?
She's the illusion. The illusionary elf is a little bit down the street from the alley.
So if we're in the alley and then there's a street, she'd be over there.
What you see is literally out of the shadows of like a barrel, this kind of amorphous shape starts to flow out of the shadow, and as it solidifies, it turns into this huge bear-sized hyena heads, and it's moving. It doesn't make a sound.
3 heads.
That's Cerberus.
Oh.
And it moves despite how big it is.
Huh.
It moves completely quietly. You assuming you can kind of barely hear it, this little tiny little cloud of its claws. And all 5 of the heads just converge on the illusion and chomp at it, and then it vanishes.
Now what is
and that's when it turns around, sniffing, and then they all 5 of the heads, they kind of merge into one giant head, look into the alley towards Sumia.
It smells elf.
And that's where we're going to stop it.
Oh, come on.
It's 6 o'clock.
It is 6 o'clock. Yes.